here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, she talked
Let-
to us.
Yeah. Let us know when you're ready.
Right, we look good.
Are we good now?
Yes.
I want to welcome everybody to the 2025 budget season. Excuse me. Last year, you know, our budget went into default, so that puts more pressure on us this year. There's things we're gonna have to make up for. So without further ado, we'll have, I'm gonna go to a nomination of officers because I'm not going to, I don't wanna be chair anymore because this is my last year. And I'd stay on for being co-chair, but I just feel after doing this for over 30 years, it's time to give it to somebody else. We've got a lot of new faces, and I'm hoping that we can carry on the tradition that the town has been in all these years. We've had a lot of good people over the years, and a lot of families, and members are here from their families, the Claremonts, the Moonies, the Roberts. So it's a tradition, so.
I'll make a motion if you'd like, Ron. I'll make a motion that we elect Tracy Leclerc as chairman and Ron Mitchell as co-chair.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. So with that, this is a very special gavel. It was given to me by Diane Martin back when she was just young, and she was our secretary and took the minutes. And I think it's fitting to pass this gavel on. Diane Martin and the Martins were another family that's done a lot for the town of Belmont. And so I'm gonna give this to Tracy, and you take care of that. She bought that out of her own pocket.
I don't have to use it, right?
You may have to. You never know when
We'll
it gets
keep it.
rowdy, but she felt that we needed one.
That's cool,
So,
thank you.
Back in 1995, when I first became chair, after Mark Mooney was chair, I just want to give a list of the members that we had back then. I was chair, Reginald Caldwell, William Epberg, Norma Patton was been on this committee for many, many years. She only had to retire a couple of years ago because of health. Gary Flack, who's passed. Steve Fournier. William Jocks was a teacher at the high school. He has since passed. Leslie Roberts, Mark's father, was on for many, many years. And Wendy Wrench, Ken Knowlton, Romeo Claremont, which is, we all know who he is. So it's, I just want to say that being on this committee, it's all volunteers. You don't get paid, you're doing it for the betterment of the town. And you can't, well, there's things that we have to look at, but the town has to run on money that we let them use or appropriate. And last year, like I said, it was default. And so things didn't get done, and departments struggled. We didn't have any fireworks this year. There's a lot of things we didn't do that the town people are used to having, Old Home Day and things like that. So it's a privilege to be on this board, but what we need to do, or what the board needs to do, is make sure that the town runs efficiently, but it still has to move forward. If you start cutting, like back many years ago, we had people that got on and cut this and cut that, but you still have to make it up. Back when I got on, the roads weren't paved, mostly dirt. So the town has come a long way. So I just want you to keep that in mind, that you're here for the betterment of the town, not the detriment of it. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you. Thank you for, I feel like we should have a cake or something. Maybe next time. So now we'll go back to the thing at the top of our agenda, which is resignations. So I know in my book I had the back page that was in the front is one of our more recent resignations, thus giving us 2 positions to fill, if I'm correct? And as a board, we also have at the front of that packet 3 letters of interest from prospective, it wasn't on my list.
Yeah, well, we still have to sign that.
I'll also be setting, let me just segue this through. As soon as, we have one more piece of business, but we'll let each of these 3 people come up and address the board, and then we'll take nominations for those spots. Before we do that, Ron pointed out that we do have minutes here from our last meeting, which was January 9th. I'll take a motion for those if anybody doesn't, if there are no corrections
There are no omissions.
or omissions.
Just send around, everybody has to sign it. If your name is not on there, then you probably weren't a member at the time, so.
I do need a formal motion.
I'll make a motion that, we accept the minutes of January
January 9th.
9th,
Yep.
2024.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? And we'll just circle these around. If your name's not on it, then you don't have to sign them this time. Can I borrow that table for a minute, gentlemen?
Sure, of course.
Or did you want to use the speaker? You guys use the podium. So we have 3 potential candidates. Anybody want to go first to introduce themselves for the board? Step right up. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. We'll let you do that for yourself. Right up here, yeah.
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 I don't have a loud voice.
I can hear you.
Do those microphones work?
Just start out with your name and tell us why you might want to join us.
I'm Rachel French. I'm a very, very long-time resident of Belmont. And it was brought to my attention that being on the budget is an interesting, thing to do for the town. And, I do like to budget my stuff at home, like make sure I can survive or anything. But I think being on the budget committee would be good to learn what the town is doing. Only by doing that would I learn more about what the town is doing for budgeting, So I would be interested. I am retired, of course, and I do have time to do that. I wouldn't mind volunteering, so.
Great, because one of my questions for each of you was gonna be, or my biggest question is, have you seen our list of meetings and can you make a majority of them? Because we do need to have a quorum at each of our meetings.
What is the list of meetings? How often?
Have you seen one? We typically meet on Tuesdays, starting
Every
next
Tuesday?
week. Tuesdays through, just before Christmas, and then we have a couple meetings in January.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Anybody have any questions for
You
her?
have to ask, you have to be excused. You call the town hall to be excused. Because if anybody misses 4 meetings, you're automatically off the committee.
Okay.
Did anybody have any questions for Rachel? Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Volunteers to go next?
There you go.
All right.
Good evening. My name is Paul Majoli. Moved to this town.
Could you say that again?
My name is Paul Majoli. I moved to Belmont about 2018. Prior to moving here, I lived in Massachusetts. My background is I was a chief technology officer for a software company, one that I started back in 2020 along with 3 other individuals. So I've got a financial background for managing budgets. I managed some pretty large budgets for Wells Fargo, Verizon, a number of other companies, multi-million-dollar budgets. But one of the reasons why I'm interested in joining this committee was, I'm recently retired and I want to give back to the town. I really enjoy living in Belmont. I find it a really very family community, and I like the small town, type of atmosphere, and I enjoy it here. So with my time that I have on my hands now, I wanted to be involved in the town.
Thank you.
So, any questions for me?
Any questions for Paul?
Whereabouts do you live? I'm on Tucker Shore. Yeah. So, all right. Well, happy to
Oh,
answer
wait,
any. Yep.
Paul, I'm sorry.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry.
He said just a minute.
Yep.
Budget management, what would you?
So I managed a technology group, about 60 people in our organization. And then we sold software to companies like Wells Fargo and Verizon and Fortune 100 and 500 companies. So it was my responsibility as part of the implementation teams to manage those multi-million-dollar budgets along with the people.
You're all retired now?
I am, yep. Back 1st of September.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a long time waiting.
And the weekly meetings for the next, like,
Yeah,
6
they're
weeks
not
or
a
so
problem.
fine?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not a problem.
Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Kevin?
How you doing? I'm Kevin Lee. I'm sorry. Kevin Leandro. My background is, in heavy trucks. I owned a trash business in Rhode Island, and I had a small trucking company here. I owned several other small businesses, and I had interest in a few businesses. I still have some real estate holdings right now. And I'm currently employed as a VP of Business Development for a dealership group that has 42 heavy truck dealerships. I am relatively new to the town of Belmont. I built a home here a little bit over 3 years ago. I lived in Guilford for 15 years or so. I did serve on the Guilford Budget Committee for 6 of those years, 4 of them in leadership, I believe 2 years as the chairman, 2 years as a vice chair. I'm very, very familiar with RSA 32 and the procedures of how the Budget Committee works and the function of the Budget Committee. And I know the question's going to ask. I manage my own schedule. Tuesday evening meetings is pretty easy.
Thank you. Any other questions?
How many vacancies have we got?
We have 2 vacancies. So we do have 2 vacancies, with 3 candidates the last
I
time.
was gonna ask if the gentleman in blue is also interested, or you just a
I might
spectator
get interested
today?
next year, I'm trying to figure it out for this year.
I lost him behind the podium.
Yes, so we have a total of 2 vacancies with 3, interested parties. This year, because we've never really had this many interests, I did do a ballot, so what I would suggest is that we ask them to step out. We can deliberate as a group, and then vote for your
Thank you.
first and second option, and then we can have them come back in and give them the good news.
That works for me,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Time for the Jeopardy music.
So do a 1 and a 2, your first choice and your second choice. And then I'll tally them up.
Are we gonna have discussion first, or are we?
Is she setting the
Yes.
recording off?
Are we going to,
We going to,
are we gonna discuss this first,
Oh, we
Alicia,
just will
and
discuss this
probably
first.
the recording off?
Could be.
I'm not sure that I can use both.
It's on
Callie,
recording.
can we mute the live recording and pause the live recording?
I can maybe stop it from going so that.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
I think that would probably be fair.
We have to vote to go into non-public?
Right.
Is that really this? Or do we just?
Somebody would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you should probably vote non-public, or go into non-public, which would do.
Non-public while we're
Then
voting,
we'll
yeah.
shut it off and pause all the
Yeah.
equipment and then have the
Yes.
conversation, then we'll
Yeah.
be back on.
Do I need a motion for that?
I'll make a motion that we move to non-public, but the public is going to have to leave,
Right.
Okay,
and,
thank you. Sorry, folks. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Have a non-public session while they deliberate, we're just going to use the video.
I had a second, the gentleman 2 to my right.
Don House. I've got it.
On something like that. The chair can make that.
Okay. We're gonna give Colleen just a minute to, she had mentioned to us at the beginning that it takes a delay to turn it on and off, and I still see my face on the computer.
We're